Good evening, Meemo. Thank you for coming on Sports Talk with C.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Of course, after some technical difficulties, we are finally here. So tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I am Curteeona Love, also known as Meemo Love, in the basketball world and everywhere else. I'm from a very small place here in the Panhandle of Florida. A lot of people don't know this part exists. They only know the Florida State and lower. So pretty much it's a cow field in front of my house, like dirt roads, trees everywhere. Like they just got a Planet Fitness like probably like 2 years ago, and
Oh,
that's in like the
wow.
next little city. So it's like two stoplights, a subway, gas station, grocery store, and that's the town part. Like the actual highway, I live like 3 minutes the other way, where it's nothing but countryness. So born and raised here. I decided that I was gonna be a WNBA player, professional basketball player, when I was in like first grade. I still got the yearbook. I wrote it down in my first grade yearbook. So still got that. I actually accomplished that. And then I made a way for myself. So ended up playing varsity in like seventh grade till I graduated. Managed to get on the AAU team. I think my ninth, ninth to 10th grade year. I think it was really 10th grade was the serious. So I drove 2 hours, me and mom, 2 hours to Columbus, Georgia every weekend. So literally Friday after school, after practice, my mom would get off work, 2 hours. I spend the weekend, come back. Went from being unknown to being very highly recruited. I started taking pictures with like Brandon Clay. I was like, yeah, you're gonna be somebody. We gotta get your pictures. So I'm like, okay. Um, Ended up having no offers my think even my 10th grade year, my 11th grade year. I kind of showed out a little bit. So got a lot of offers, ACC, SEC, and not really a big fan of attention. So I didn't even know the difference between D1 and anything else. Like the guys at school, like, yeah, you going D1. I had no idea what it meant. So I got offended a few times. I'm not gonna lie. Because they said a lot of stuff to me. And I was like, so a lot of times I just didn't know. And I'd be in my own world. I'm like, what is that? They was like, you don't know what it is? I'm like, nah, bro. Like, what is that? It was like, no, like that means you like the highest
Right, you
best.
nice.
Like, oh, so it was a shock to me. Like that was the first time, like I literally heard that my 11th grade year. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I didn't know it was a difference. I started with kind of like, smaller schools around here, like Columbus State,
Mhm.
Columbus, Alabama State. So I really didn't know much. I was just like, hey, I love where I grew up, but I gotta go.
You gotta
So
go.
I was telling my coach, yeah, man, it's literally it's nothing here. Like good people, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, the small country life ain't for me. I need to go be in somebody's city. I need some lights, some
So
highways.
being in this small
Um,
town, the cow
mhm,
field, what made you pick up a basketball?
yeah. I mean, it's literally been like that my whole life. Like I literally have a pillow that was a basketball since I was a baby. Like I took it to college with me. I just, my uncles played basketball. So really good. This is like I said, it's a basketball town. So my uncles played. So it kind of runs in the family. Everybody tells me how good they were, and a lot of talent around here. Just not too many make it out. Some of them make choices. Other ones they just decide they just gonna take a different route of life. And like I said, like I was just like, man, like I know I'm not supposed to be here. I know I'm supposed to be somewhere and I just kind of put my head down, and literally from sun up to sundown, I was outside. Like I taught people because I knew how to dribble a lot for my size, and people was like, well, how do you do this? I'm like, man, look, you'll have handles when you go outside and patches of grass, and you just got to dribble. So like I said, like I just knew I was like, this is not for me. Like I love where I grew up, but it's just not. So I managed to get, like I said, I got a lot of offers and stuff. Ended up going to VCU.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ended up going to VCU, made the most of it. Met a lot of great people, learned a lot of great things. Stayed there for 3 years. I got hurt my freshman year, sat out. with the fifth metatarsal fracture. Got on the, made myself, got into the starting lineup, did pretty good.
How did you get through
Played
your injury? How did you, like, was you upset that you hurt
it.
yourself? Was you disappointed in you? How did you overcome that injury and become into the starting lineup?
Well, it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was tough because I never had an injury before. So, I never experienced, any type of injury. And then too, I'm country. So it's like one of those things where they're just like, yeah, you ain't hurt, keep going. If you ain't
Mhm.
crying, bleeding, or dying, you fine. So it's one of those things where I didn't really know my body. I didn't really know like I knew the difference between being hurt, like sore, and I didn't know what an actual injury felt like. But I'm pretty tough, so I try to tell people, I'm like, if I come to you and I'm telling you something is wrong, something has been wrong for a while. I'm just now coming to you because I can't take it. So it was hard mentally because, like I said, I've never been hurt. I've always been, good at what I've always been good at what I do. So it was hard. And then I was 12 hours away from home, totally different place, didn't know anybody. I was the only freshman,
Mhm.
and literally 30-minute workouts was just awful. And like I called my grandma like maybe like 3 days into it. I was like, oh, I'm coming back home. No. Then I got hurt. It was different. I was like, oh, I don't think this is what I signed up for. But it was hard. Like I said, like I was away, and it was one of those things where I was hurt, and I knew I was hurt because I'm like, all right, I can't stand, I can't sleep. I was mental, you know what I'm saying, but I
Mhm.
still made all right. I was just pain pills before practice, getting my foot wrapped up really, really thick. And, I was just like, you know what, like, good, you tough, just keep going. Then it got to the point I would like literally just be in tears. Like, I'm like, man, I'm hurt. And, wasn't really much done about it. I voiced it. I was kind of quiet when I got there. Like, I'm very observant, so I'm quiet, I'm reserved, I observe everything. So then I got to the point, I'm like, yo, like, I'm hurting. Like, I can't walk, I'm limping. Wasn't really taken too serious. Then it got to the point one day I pretty much cried the whole practice, like, but I was still running, missing sprints. And the coach was like, you keep missing sprints. I'm like, that's the point. I can miss them all day. Making them is the problem. I can't make them. I can't run. So next thing you know, one of the sprints, I sprinted my heart out, crossed the line. When I stepped down, I heard a crunch. I had a crunch, and I was like, yep, I done messed up. And then pain just started shooting from my ankle to like the top part of my shin. I was like, yep, I done messed up. Got an x-ray. And like I said, like it was hard because I've never been hurt. Like the only thing I've done is just play basketball. It's like, okay, sprain the ankle, you do some, you good. So it was a lot because it's like all I know how to do, all I've done is play basketball. I've never had to sit out and watch people practice. As much as I was like, all right, my lungs, we good, we need a break. But it was hard.
How did
So,
you
it
push
was one of those
through?
things where I just felt like pushing through. It was just one of those things where, my teammates and a lot of people were just like, it's not that bad of an injury. Like, you'll be back in a few weeks. But it was kind of just one of those things where I had to just sit there and kind of just accept it because I'm like, okay, there's nothing I could do. I really, all I did was basically I write. So, I wrote about a lot of things, how I felt. I stayed to myself really. So I really just stayed and isolated myself because I was
Mhm.
like, I'm not really good at expressing myself. And so the way for me to kind of stay up, I was like, well, I'm gonna just stay away from everybody, and I went, when I could, I'll pick up a ball, I'll dribble and stuff. So it was just one of them things. Like I just literally focused on like, okay, 6 to 8 weeks. I got 6 to 8 weeks to sit here in the cast and then I'm gonna be good. So that's all I just kept telling myself, like 6 to 8 weeks. It's gonna be okay. It's fine. And then like a lot of kids around here, when they get hurt, especially with leg injuries, they come back and they just got bounced crazy. So I'm thinking, I'm like a boy. I'm like, okay, like everybody's like, yo, you gonna have bounce. It's gonna be crazy. Like you gonna be good. So that's the only thing I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be able to dunk. Like I can jump. So that's really how I pushed through. That's I'm like, I'm gonna have hops. I'm good. I'm good. So that's really how I got through it. Just writing and just that was it.
So you have mentioned earlier in the first grade that you wrote that you were going to be in the WNBA.
Yes.
Why? And was there a player that you looked up to at that time?
I was always like basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like I like was literally my identity. You know, of course, it's other things I'm good at, but me personally, it's like I've literally like ever since I can remember, like I played like it's like called upward basketball around here. Like I've always just had a basketball. I've always been outside. Like me, like I still got the little plastic goal now from when I was like in kindergarten. So that's just always been my thing, just basketball. No real like, you know, influence around here. It's just me and my basketball. Like I said, my uncles played. I think my dad was kind of good at it. You know, I played it with him like once or twice, but that's just always been my thing. But I didn't really have like a specific player that I kind of looked up to. Because really it was just me. So like I said, nobody was really around here. So the times that I could watch basketball, because like even to this day, a lot of people around here don't even got like cable or nothing. So I had to pretty much learn everything from school. So
Mhm.
but I took a lot of stuff. So for me, like dunking wise, which I didn't realize that girls don't really, you know, grow to be athletic like that. But I pretty much watched like a lot of times it was like Carlos Boozer, Dirk Nowitzki, who else? Of course I like Shaq. Everybody kind of used to kind of compare me and try to come for me on my free throws. I'm like, first of all, I get buckets. Um but yeah, one of my uncles, like my uncle say he was like, you like Shaq, you can't make the free throws. Like I make them. Thank you. Don't do that.
I mean, you
Um
must not if they're calling you Baby Shaq.
that's like around here, it's like people motivate you by coming at you crazy. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
one of those things where I taught myself how to shoot with my opposite hand. So I'm right hand
Nice.
dominant. So I'm right hand dominant in everything I do. If you ever watch anything I play, like I literally do everything with my right hand, but I shoot left handed. So everybody's like, you're left. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like I can shoot both, but I'm like, hey, you giving me my right, I'm gonna go right. You give me my left, I'm gonna still use my right. So but I just took pretty much everything from every type of player. So I'm like, I don't really have a favorite, but I just love everything about literally every position. So that's literally, I just picked up, I see a move I like, I'm gonna watch it 1,000 times and I'm gonna go practice it until I got it. So that's really just how.
Did you ever want to play any other sport?
I played a few sports. So I played softball. Of
Ooh.
course, I'm 6'2", so my strike zone was at my ankle, so they would throw it really low. So when I did connect it, so I was good. That's the only sport I like defense. I'm not gonna lie. Like my defense was fire in softball. I played first base, I played outfield, I can catch, I can throw. My strike zone just was too low. So, you know, I played softball for like I think 2 years. And then it got to the point, like I said, like I was good at it. When I
Mhm.
did connect with the ball, it went to the fence every time. But it's cold outside, and that's when we wore like shorts. I was like, oh no, this. Then I got hit in the head, like the coach hit the ball. Okay, all right, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, well yeah. So I played softball. I was pretty good at it, but it was not my sport. And then to top it off, I got cleated in the ankle with a metal cleat
Oh
playing out of my
no.
position. I said, oh yeah, I'm done. Nope.
That's exactly what
Uh,
I would have did.
I wanted to play
Sure would
soccer.
have all set.
Yeah, yeah. I metal after my ankle, my attitude came out, and I was ready to swing. So I was like, nah, this ain't for me, dog. Like y'all can keep this. Going back to the gym. But nah, not for me. Nope. So then I wanted to play soccer. So I got, people was like, you have nice feet. So, I just like doing tricks, but
What?
one of my
What does that have to
no,
do
I
with
don't
anything?
because it's like for me to be my size, everyone's like, for your size, you can run, but I'm like, yo, that's too much lung capacity. I ain't got that. So never made it to play soccer. I play every now and then, but I was like, nah. So, but that was it. Like people wanted me to do track, cause I was like, nah, dog. Nope,
You was all
no,
set on
ma'am.
that too? No, ma'am.
Yeah, anything the outside sport, I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't do outside. I'm an indoor person, so I just was like, I'm gonna just stick to basketball. That's what I'm good at. I'm gonna just stay over here, not try nothing new.
Did a lot of guys like growing up because you were nice really like test you?
They did, but they quickly found out like I want you on my team. I don't really want to play against you. So but I played with boys. So, I never really played with girls growing up. So anything rough. So, I played football. I wanted to tackle, you know what I'm saying? Like the boys play. I was always with the boys. So like I said, they knew that I was nice, like even practicing, like one day, like the varsity coach got mad at them. He was like, I wish I had, I just needed 5 Meemos. I'm sick of y'all. And I was like, like, I'm just sitting here, like, not practicing, not doing nothing. And I'm just like, I am sorry, my bad. Like, so towards my senior year, I would get kind of upset because we didn't have the best coach. So I practicing with the boys, like literally, like I was the girl on the team that they was just like, oh, like you want us, come on. Like now one of the guys from here went to the G League and literally he had like a party and I was the only girl there. Like I am really one of the boys. So it didn't bother me. That's just, my group of people.
So would you say the way high school is now, AAU teams is better for kids growing up, or does it make kids wanting to pursue a basketball career kind of soft?
Well, I mean, here is a little bit different. So me personally, I do think me personally, basketball is a lot softer. Because I mean, even for me when I was younger, we could turn people and stuff like that. Like I literally played with people, like my coach would be like I literally, like I didn't understand that when I got to college, I had to call fouls and pick up. Like we would be the ones, like we literally battled until we seen blood. Like you could bleed and they'd be like, it's a foul. Nah, ain't a foul. Take the ball out, get tough. So, for me, it was a little different. And now it's like, you can't touch nobody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you literally swiping for the ball. You can hit clean in the air. It's nothing. So I feel personally, me, like it's a little softer, but it teaches you also how to kind of actually play. So it's like now you got to give effort. So you can't just hide behind, you know what I'm saying? You can't hide behind, just being athletic or taller than somebody. So, and then like I said, like, and then too, it's like a lot of kids, like, especially around here, like it's potential, but being in a place that's just so isolated, they don't really understand that it's a lot more to basketball, you know what I'm saying, than just having talent. Or so for me, I think it's a little bit softer, but you have like they get to show their skills a lot more. They're not just so in a box like, okay, I got to do this. Like, they do speak up for themselves. They have a voice. Whereas, we were just like, hey, we just got to put our head down, play, and just do what we got to do. So.
Okay. And how important would you say is to women's sports in general?
How important is what? I couldn't hear you on that.
Like sports in like growing up as a teenager.
It's very important. Like you really learn how to socialize and how to deal with different types of people and different personalities. So like I said, especially for myself, like, I grew up around a lot of, like, I played pretty much, I always played with people that were older than me. So I grew up with my cousins that were 4 years older than me, but because I was, talented, I got to hang with them all the time. So it really just taught me how to deal with different types of people and personalities. So, I've always been kind of like the reserve, like I'm a chill, but you push me, we gonna have a problem. And then I got, you got the firecrackers, then you got the people that are a little, and you got the people that's like real mellow, they really don't stick up for themselves. So it does teach you how to deal with different types of people, but it also, it puts you in a different world, in a different space. And that's what I was saying, like for a lot of people, it's just, they're just so used to, one type of people, one group of people. So once I actually started playing AAU and stuff like that, like like especially where I grew up, it's not really diverse. You see the same type of people, white, black, Mexican, literally Mexican people, and then mixed people. That's all you see, So I went away, like, I like all types of people, different stuff. I love to learn. So for me, just right here, I was away. Like I never even went to Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? So until I started playing AAU, so I went and I seen different people, different shades of people. I hear different accents. So it's very important. Like I said, and then too, it teaches you that, it teaches you how to get over adversity. You meet a lot of people in life, especially now, like, I help coach, and soon as stuff will starts going bad, kids are just like, they want to give up. I'm like, man, like life ain't like that. Like you just, everything ain't go your way. Like somebody, like you got to learn to deal with different people. They don't want people yelling at them. They don't, you know what I'm saying? So, oh, she pushing too hard. Well, what are you going to do about it? Like fix it. So I definitely think it's definitely important. So even if they don't want to pursue it, it's learning how to be a leader, learning how to be vocal, learn how to do different things at different moments. What is your role? It's very important.
Okay, so I heard you say that you were coached twice now. So what would you say is the best thing about coaching, and what would you say is the most challenging about coaching?
The best thing is like being able to actually connect with players on a level of I understand. So my big thing was, especially me in college, like I never really understood why you would want to harm, not necessarily harm, but I never understood like why coaches weren't really humans. Like, why do you think that we're machines? Why do you think we aren't tired, that we aren't sore? Like, so just connecting, like understanding that, okay, you can't talk to this person how you talk to this one. This person may need encouragement. This person may need you to curse them out. So just being able to connect is the most important thing. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's nice that, I'm like, hey, I was there. I understand. And, I let them know. I'm like, look, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't the best player. I was not the one that hustled all the time. I'm the talent. I'm talented and I work hard. I get tired. You know what I'm saying? So I speak from it's like a happy medium. Like, okay, you were a good player, but I understand. I'm like, I'm not gonna be anything to you that I did not like as a coach. So that's probably the best thing, just being able to connect with different players, have their own relationship, with me. And then the most challenging is actually getting kids now to kind of actually listen. Cause it's like nobody wants to be coached. Everybody like they don't like
everybody LeBron and Steph.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be Steph Curry. Everybody want to shoot threes. And I'm looking like, you can't even catch the ball right now. Like, and and I'm like the type, like, and I laugh a lot. So, like when I'm coaching, like I joke. So I'm just like, I'm like, like I'm gonna talk to you, like, you know what I'm saying? So, and especially like I coach college kids like at a JUCO, and then I coach I went back to my high school and I help coach the varsity girls. Keep in mind, most of them are middle schoolers. They're 8th graders. And for them, attitude, like I've never seen so many kids that you tell them something and they start yelling, like they yell at the head coach. And this man could have been in the NBA. Like this man averaged 20 points a game in high school when there was no 3-point line. And we're just like, listen, we're trying to help you. And like, we're literally talking. And they start yelling. I'm like, hey, I'm not your coach. The school didn't hire me, so I'm cussing out everybody. Like, calm down, and it's
cha-ching. There you go. Cause that would be me. This is why I do this, because I couldn't, but my attitude, I'm the firecracker. One of those people. Yes, that is me. Don't touch me. Right. No, I'm all set. Like players that don't want, no, that and more power to you.
Rolling the eyes every time, literally say something and they say something right back before you finish. I'm just like, like I just sit there and I'm just like, like sometimes I can't even say nothing. I'm just like, I'm gonna swing on all of y'all. And I'm just like,
let me just shut up before I do.
Yeah, I'm like, the principal not gonna put me out because he loves me. I went to school here. Your parents don't tell me good job. And I'm just like, most of the time I'm like, hey, you're okay. Just listen. It's fine. Like I have to talk to them like that, and they still don't care. They still be yelling. I'm like, all right, at this point,
you know what?
This is me, college and high school. I'm just like, okay, all right, this is what we're doing today. Cool, great. All right.
So do you want to pursue that career in coaching, or where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, that's great. Like, I mean, I took on the coaching aspect because I got injured again. So I tore my meniscus. And it was a way for me to stay close to basketball. Because I needed a break because I had a my whole career was very tough. In college, and in the last 3 years they was really like the deal breaker. I was like, I need a mental break, physical break too, because I needed surgery. Coaching keeps me close to it, but I lose my voice and then I sound even more like a frog and it gets deeper. And I'm just like, y'all don't listen, but it's like, I'd rather play. So for me, like I said, as a player, I wasn't as vocal until I went to my second school, and I didn't understand how much, how important it was to actually speak. But I definitely missed the basketball part. Like, I mean, now, like, still healing, and every chance I get that I can run a few times up and down the floor, I do it. But coaching wise, it's nice to, add my little opinion, but it's like, I'm also one of the types, I'm like, all right, I got something to say, so y'all need to do this. So I don't think I'm really cut out for the assistant part, or the head coaching part, because I'm just like, that's a lot of pressure. But in 5 years, I do want to. Yeah, because I'm just like, I'm like, it's like the assistant part is like, okay, it's cool, because you know what I'm saying, like, I do my job, but then it's like, now, okay, yo, you ain't work, what you doing, coach, ain't working, so let me talk to him. But yeah, I do want to play again. Like I said, I'm just still healing, trying to get together. So it's just been ups and downs. So it's like, sometimes I'm like, yeah, I can coach, and the other times I'm like,
Well, I'm pretty sure you will figure it out. I hope that you fully heal, so you don't hurt yourself again. Because I was watching some of your clips, so I would love to see you actually play, because I was like, oh, okay, So if you do get back to ball, I would love to see you play. And do you watch any games now? TV? Who would you say you enjoy watching basketball play now?
I'm not even gonna lie. I honestly have not watched a game since I went to college. I'm not gonna lie. My first college, I was traumatized. I have not even sat down to watch a game.
Why was you traumatized?
My first coach, like I said, like, don't get me wrong, I learned a lot from her, but it's just, she really took the love of the game away. Like, I literally, like, the only thing I've ever done is watch basketball, Travel Channel, and cooking shows. And literally, she just ruined it for me, So, like I said, I did what I had to do. Like, I was a completely different player in high school. I was a completely different player in general. And I went from being 1 through 5, can shoot, dribble, and I was like, hey, I got to do what I got to do to play. So literally, me running and rebounding, making layups, that was not who I was, but that's the role that I took on so I could play. And I stayed there, and I stayed there for 3 years. And by the time I left, like, I was completely disconnected from basketball. And when I went to St. John's, that's when I found it back. My grandmother passed away, and they completely wiped away everything with basketball. So, but I literally have not, like, I'll watch highlights and stuff when I'm scrolling on Instagram. I still watch workouts and stuff, but just like a whole game, I have not done it other than basketball at home when I'm going and coaching, but haven't been able to do it.
I want to punch her. Not even to say, like, to promote violence or anything, but like, yo, like, I would be pissed because, like, right now I don't play, not at all. We already know this, but like, it is everything to me. So if someone really came into my life and took that love that I have for just the game in general, like, I would probably, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was hard, like I said, like, and I mean, when I say, I didn't tell anybody like how I felt. Like I said, like, I'm just so used to being nonchalant. Like, a lot of times, like, even when I played at St. John's, like, like I said, when my grandmother passed away, I literally would be in tears before the game, during the game, after. But it's like I
Definitely
never really
understand that.
yeah. So it was hard because like I said, like for me, like don't get me wrong, like I made good, I made good grades, like, but for me, like as much as I have other talents and I'm good at other things, for me, basketball was literally my life. So it's like literally, and I tell them like I like, like I said, hey, she's doing her thing, cool. But for me, like my love of basketball was like literally who I was. And then like I never like everything was connected to basketball, but it wasn't. So it's like when she kind of made that, difficult for me, it's like literally like my confidence, everything just went down the drain as a person. So like I said, like literally those 3 years that I spent at BCU, like everybody's like, oh, you did so great. And in my mind, I'm like, no, I did not. They was like, oh, you're
Right.
double. Like, I'm like, and then I'm like, this is not who I am. So my best year that I ever played was at St. John's. But like I said, like I try, like even now, like I'll try to watch a game, but I can't do it. Can't do it.
That's understandable. That is very understandable. If you could give words of advice to another kid, anyone experiencing what you had went through, what would you say to them?
I would definitely tell them to really, really, really like know what they're doing, like you know what I'm saying, like really do your research, do your homework. And that was my biggest thing. I didn't care about a name. You know, and literally I did my research. I watched them play games, before the coaching staff changed, because I was supposed to go there, with Marlene. But I researched every school that I had interest in. You know what I'm saying? Like I went and I checked the roster. I literally watched games to see how they played, because I'm like, okay, well, I'm going here, so I need to go somewhere that's going to fit my playing style. So that would be my biggest thing. Just like do your research and know yourself, because if you don't really know yourself, they will, coaches, like I was told, like coaches are used car salesmen with a whistle. Like they're gonna bait you up, they're gonna make it seem like it's the best deal in the world, but then sometimes you may look under the hood and realize it's not that great. So that would be my thing. Just do your research and know yourself. And if anything sits with you the wrong way, not necessarily saying, oh, they yelled at me. Like, no, like really know if something is truly harming you and causing you issues with yourself, you got to get out of it. Like, it's not for you.
Would you say being late to the game or to the aspect of knowing D1, D2, D3 prospects, would you say that shaped you into picking any school because you really didn't care about that, or you really cared about was playing basketball?
Definitely not. Like I said, like I'm pretty much like I was kind of like I was really a student of basketball. So really I watched anything. So for me, it wasn't necessarily the name, but I knew for a fact, because we have a JUCO here, that's like 30 minutes down the road. And I was like, well, I know I don't need to go to a JUCO because, I was like, I want competition. I was me personally. I was like, I don't really think I need to, go somewhere, be an All-American, as they was telling me, and I don't have no competition. But like I kind of, realized, I was like, okay, like when I watched the game, I was like, okay, I have those skill sets. So it was just one of those things where I had confidence in my game, but also my AAU coach was very, very helpful, because he knew like talent, like, okay, like you're Division I player, like he kind of broke it down to me, like because I was like, I have no idea. So he was like, Division I, highest competition. He was like, I don't see you as a anything less than D1. So he was shocked because it was like mid-major, but once he kind of sat down and broke it down, and I started actually doing my own research, I was like, well, I don't want to go too low to where I'm just dominating everybody, but I was like, my biggest thing was, I was like, I don't want to go somewhere where I'm going to be compared and they're going to try to make me be someone I'm not. Like, don't tell me this is who you have to replace. This is what they did. So now you have to be her. No, I'm me. So that was my biggest thing. I was like, I don't want to be, I don't want to be compared. And I'm not being nobody's cheerleader. That's not what I signed up for. I was like, so if you going and I told him, I was like, if you're gonna sit me on the bench, I'm not coming. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, like I knew what type of player I was, and I knew that for the little bit of resources I had, and I had managed to get where I was going, I was like, okay, now imagine myself at, when I got everything that I needed more. So that was really my thing. Just knowing the type of player I am, and knowing that if I can make a heck of a lot out of nothing, then if I had just a little bit of something, it was out of this world.
I know that's right. Well, I thank you for coming on Sports Talk with C and coming to share your journey with me. And you have a great evening. And get to the love of basketball again. Okay.
I'm trying.
We gonna make this, we gonna get this going. We're gonna get this going.
Oh yeah, I'm about to just start sprinting. I was like, at this point, I'm just gonna until my leg completely falls off, I'm doing it. Let's go.
I know that's right. Well, thank you. You have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you.